Mad Squad was howling. It's Joe, aka Mad Joe FC. At the time I'm recording this, I just got back from seeing Marvel's Black Panther, the next installment in Marvel's cinematic universe, and the first movie I went to see in 2018. So this will be my first movie review of 2018. So I'm not going to do a non-spoiler review. I'm only doing a spoiler review just because there's too much I want to talk about. So if you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie before you watch this review. Okay? I'm warning you. And the review's going to start in 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's get it. Alright, what do I want to talk about first, actually? Well, first off, what everybody's been saying is true. This didn't feel exactly like a Marvel film. And you could say that, or you could say Marvel has just done such a good job at making certain films so unique and stand out from other Marvel films that it just feels different. It's a Marvel film, but it feels like a different type of Marvel film. That you could say that, but then at the same time, we've never seen Wakanda before in the MCU until now. So just because most of the movie took place in Wakanda with these characters that we haven't seen before, that's what really made it like not feel like an MCU film. You know, in the rest of the films, we see earthly locations mostly, besides Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor. But we got Thor early on, so we were used to that. Guardians of the Galaxy being an exception of a different type of Marvel movie feel. But we haven't seen Wakanda at all yet, so it felt entirely different. It felt rich. It felt new. All of the actors were amazing in their roles. All the actors brought so much energy and passion to their characters. Everybody was absolutely amazing. And there's some stuff I want to save for later. And I don't even know what I would rate it yet. It's definitely somewhere in my top 5 MCU films. I guess one of the things I'll talk about, just because it's one of the main things on my mind right now, is Michael B. Jordan's villain, Eric Killmonger. Easily one of my favorite MCU villains. Killmonger was one of my favorite villains. Okay? He really was. Some of my favorite villains are Loki, Ultron. There are a few others who are really up there. Killmonger is one of those who's up there. Killmonger had backstory. Yes, all these villains have backstory to a degree, but I sympathized with Killmonger. Like, at the very beginning of the movie, we see King T'Chaka's brother get killed. And at the time, it was just the very beginning of the movie, so we didn't know anything about who else could be related to T'Chaka's brother. But so T'Chaka's brother got settled kind of with a woman in America. They had a child. That child was Eric Killmonger. So that makes him the nephew to T'Challa's mom, and it makes him T'Challa's cousin. That's his cousin. Okay? That is awesome. That is awesome backstory. And it was cool how throughout, like, the half point of the movie, I would say, that was revealed. That one of the little kids out there playing basketball was, it was Eric Killmonger. Absolute. Michael B. Jordan killed it in his role. I was interested in all of Killmonger's scenes. I liked his attire, his hairstyle. It was absolutely amazing. Everything about him was amazing. I just didn't like that he died. I didn't want him to die. I was okay with how he died, like the way he died. I was okay with it, because he got to see Wakanda and stuff for the first time. And, you know, had that little chat with T'Challa at the end, and then, you know, he took the sword out and fell on the ground. He was like, I'd rather die than be kept in bondage. So being able to understand that, being able to understand that and the way that he was killed, I'm okay with how he was killed. It's just I didn't want him to be killed because I liked him as a villain. I felt bad for him. Like when it's a villain like Loki, you kind of feel bad for them. That's a good villain. You can understand their motives. You understood Killmonger's motives. You know, he was like in the military in America, and so he was basically saying, look, if we let the world know about us and we help the military with all this Wakandian tech, then we could fight back our enemies, you know? So it was the enemy where he had motives that you can understand where he's coming from. You can understand why he wants to do this. It's not the best, it may not be the best thing to do. You can understand where he's coming from, though. You can understand why he wants to do it, and that makes a good villain. Killmonger was an absolute... Okay. Adrian Toomes is another one of my favorite villains, and he's someone who you can put on par with Eric Killmonger because they both kind of have like the same general backgrounds. You know, they're both just American people, and they both had their different motives, and it was understandable motives. You could understand why they were doing what they were doing. You could sympathize with them, almost feel bad for them, you know. And so yeah, Adrian Toomes and Killmonger are both two of my some of my favorite MCU villains, and just people who you can put on par with each other. And Michael B. Jordan has been resurrected from the grave of kind of like Chris Evans. At first he was Human. Wait, they were both Human Torch. They were both Human Torch in a bad Fantastic Four movie, and they were resurrected from the grave. And now they're both playing loved Marvel Cinematic Universe actors. What do you freaking know about that? Who else? Claw. I didn't want Claw to die. Okay? And even though Claw's bad, you kind of his personality, you know, and stuff is kind of what reels you in. He has kind of like a funny personality and stuff. I didn't want him to die. I did not want Claw, because we had seen him in Age of Ultron, and then we get him in Black Panther. I didn't want him to die, man. Like, all the screen time he had, though, it isn't like we barely got to see him in the film. We saw him for a good third. Like, we saw him in, like, the first third of the film. He brought a lot to the table. I forgot the name of the actual actor, but Claw brought a lot to the table with his arm that was made out of vibranium. He was telling Ross, like, yeah, if you want to know what this is made out of, tell him right there. It was made out of Wakandian tech. So we got some good stuff with him, good action and stuff. And it was kind of cool how T'Challa and Ross kind of got into the whole situation, actually, because Ross was the one buying the vibranium from Claw. So that was actually a really cool chain of events, how Ross got into the mix of being in the entire movie. That was really cool how that actually happened. And speaking of, well, I'll finish off with Claw right quick. But yeah, like, I didn't want him to, like, Killmonger, he had just, you know, ended up shooting him dead. I mean, yeah, like, Killmonger was like, nah, this nigga's about to betray me, and so, or I don't know exactly what he was thinking, but he was like, no. Basically, he was like, you know what, I can't trust you. And so they had that little chase through the planes or the cars or whatever it was, I believe. And so yeah, T'Challa's friend, I can't remember his name either, but he wanted Claw returned alive, or either he wanted Claw to be killed in South Korea, where T'Challa was going to find him. And so since Eric Killmonger did that, well, that's actually another thing I'll talk about later as well. But point is, I didn't want Claw to die. I didn't want him to die. Okay, I wanted I liked him. I liked his character. But so I guess I'll now go on to T'Challa's friend before I go to Ross. T'Challa's friend, it was like, because he wanted T'Challa to either kill Claw in South Korea or bring him in alive. And T'Challa said, "You have my word," and it didn't happen. And T'Chaka, over 30 years, he couldn't get Claw, and so now T'Challa couldn't get Claw either. And his friend was like, "Wow, neither him, neither his dad or him could bring in this guy, and this guy is the cause of my parents' death." And so, since Killmonger brought him in dead, that's what because I went with my brother and some friends, and one of my friends that said it was kind of weird how this guy was so easily swayed back and forth between Killmonger and T'Challa, but it was because like Claw caused his family's death, his parents' death, and then Killmonger just brings him in. The guy who caused his family's death, Killmonger brings him in dead. So I mean, yeah, like he just kind of easily switched sides and was with Killmonger. I guess he saw Killmonger was getting things done, even though it might not have been the best way. He just thought that, like, hey, this guy's actually getting things done. I'm going to switch to this side. All right, let's talk about Ross now. I know you guys are wanting me to talk about T'Challa and probably his sister, some of these other main characters, but I want to get through, like, I want to save those for last, especially T'Challa, because there's a lot I want to say about him and Black Panther. I'm getting through just everything that's going through my head right now. So right now I'm on Ross. So I was getting scared. I was getting worried. I was like, please don't let Ross make this sacrifice and let him go out like this. I was scared that was going to happen. And I mean, like, if that happened, you know, it would have been like, okay, because he was, when the shield thing sales like at 50%. It was 50% broken. He was like, turn me back on, you know, let me see what's happening right now still. I liked that he did that. I just didn't want, you know, I would have been okay if he did die going out like that, you know, busting through the last ship and then going out and dying. I would have been okay with that sacrifice, like the way they would have done it. It's basically the same thing with Killmonger. Like, I'm okay with how they did his death. I just didn't want him to die. I would have been okay with how they did Ross's death, but I didn't want him to die. So I am so glad that he just went through that last ship and then got the heck out of Dodge. I'm so glad he did not die, because I really, really like Ross's character now that we've seen him in like two full-blown movies. I love his character. I love what he brings to the table in his role as the Everett Ross CIA agent. And if he did die like that, they would have, T'Challa in Wakanda, they would have had some explaining to do, because he's like a member of the CIA. So that would have just caused, like, for Marvel Studios and the writers and everything, and as these movies go forward, would just cause like unnecessary scenes and stuff, like them having to deal with how he died and stuff. Like, so point is, I'm just glad that he did not die. I love his character. Baku, or Maku, I can't exactly remember what his name was, but we all know who I'm talking about, Man-Ape. But of course, he didn't really dress too much like an ape, and he wasn't ever referred to as a Man-Ape in the movie for obvious reasons, which I understand. Um, but anyway, it was cool how at first, he was one of these he was one of these tribes that wanted to go against T'Challa to take the throne of Wakanda. Oh, and speaking of the different tribes, I need to talk about the back. I was like when I first saw the very beginning of the movie in my head, I was like, I need to save this in my brain for the review because I want to talk about this. Thank you, it's back in my mind. But back to Man-Ape. It was cool. He was one of these tribes, leader of one of these tribes, and he wanted to challenge T'Challa for the throne of the mantle of Black Panther, the throne and king of Wakanda. That was really cool, and it was cool how one of his members found. Oh, I need to talk about Killmonger T'Challa's fight scene. This review might be kind of long. This review might get kind of long. Okay, so when they found T'Challa in the river, it was cool that like Man-Ape was like, you know what? Yeah, we'll take him in. We'll take him in and help him. And so then when Ross and Shuri and T'Challa's mom and T'Challa's lover, I can't remember her name either, but when they all went to Man-Ape to have his help against Killmonger after he took over the throne, instead of just taking the herb for himself and battling Killmonger, he was like, you know what? This is the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do. I found your rightful king. I'm going to take you to him and let him take the herb. So that was the right thing to do. And that member of the Dora Milaje, her lover, which is T'Challa's friend, the way that Man-Ape, handled him near the end of the movie and got him to surrender and stuff. I liked Man-Ape's turn from not necessarily a villain, but just this guy who wanted the throne, to this guy that ended up helping out Wakanda in the end. So I'm going to get through some characters that I'm not going to talk about too much just because some characters have bigger roles than others. Some characters have more things going on with them in the movie than others. But these are some characters I want to talk about right quick. T'Challa's dad, T'Chaka. It was good that we got to, see a good amount of screen time from him again since he died in Civil War. But, there's this life after death in this astral plane when you take the herb and have this burial done to be reborn temporarily in this afterlife astral plane where you get to see the previous generations of Black Panthers. And so his dad was literally one of those Black Panthers, but you could turn kind of form himself into a human again. So it was cool that like T'Challa got to physically, in a way, see his dad again and talk to him. His dad was able to tell him, you need to carry on without me. You might not be ready, but you need to carry on without me. If I didn't raise my children to be able to go on without me one day, then I didn't do my job right as a father. So it was good that he got to see his dad again. And his lover, former lady friend, it was cool how, at the beginning of the movie, T'Challa was trying to get her to stay in Wakanda, she could help protect and stuff. And she was like, I'm good doing my other stuff outside of Wakanda, my other business deals, other business ventures outside of Wakanda. And then she was in this spot where, Killmonger took over the throne, so she was like, and she was a member of the Dora Milaje. So unlike the member of the Dora Milaje, she was like, no, I'm not gonna do Killmonger's. I'm not gonna bring out Killmonger's wishes. I'm gonna go against him because this isn't right. This is what should be going on. So by the end of the movie, I guess she ended up staying in Wakanda She was like, it's my duty to help protect Wakanda. So I'm pretty sure she ended up staying by the end. She had a good little arc, I guess, throughout the movie. Shuri is easily one of the most lovable characters in this film, and I knew she would be just from clips and stuff of the movie I had seen. I knew I was gonna love her. Well, I knew I was gonna love her before the movie even came out, but when the moment that she did one of the most sisterly things you could freaking do, she freaking gave T'Challa the finger as she was walking off. And her mother figured that's what she was doing, I guess, because of the look that T'Challa gave Shuri as she was walking off. One of the most, like, the brother-sister chemistry was there, okay? And that's not always done the best it could be done in movies. It was there. The brother-sister chemistry was there, okay? And I have an older sister, so this is coming from experience and how we act, okay? That brother-sister chemistry was there. It felt so natural. It felt so natural, and Shuri is just like a savage, just like some of the things she says. She is like one of the most smartest minds in the MCU, probably. Some people would argue that she's smarter than Tony Stark. And some people are like, well, you don't know that because, well, like, Tony hasn't had access to this tech. Imagine if he had access to this tech. The thing is, Tony didn't grow up in Wakanda, where the learning and the schooling is more advanced than in America. So by that logic, she could actually be more intelligent than Tony Stark. But we don't know. Puts Tony Stark in a Wakandian lab. You just gotta see what happens. Now let's talk about the very beginning of the film. The very beginning. I loved that. I loved that so much. I loved that so much. The way that it showed how this all happened in the MCU versus the comics. This meteor, this huge meteor. It would have to be huge because the vibranium spread all throughout the ground of Wakanda. So this huge meteor that is vibranium hits this certain spot of Africa, and so then you have all these herbs and stuff and these mines that's vibranium spread out all throughout this certain part of Africa, and then all these 5 different tribes noticed it and came together to protect it. And so then using the tech, they built a shield around this certain spot of Africa where this vibranium has been implanted into the ground. They built a barrier around this certain part of Africa so that nobody could find it, this valuable resource of vibranium. Okay, there's a few more things I want to talk about, and then I'm going to get into the post-credit, talk about the post-credit scenes, and then I'm going to get into a theory I have of how the Soul Stone could maybe still be in Wakanda, even though we didn't see it in the movie. But what I'm going to talk about next is the whole T'Challa Killmonger challenge. They did this so well. When, the whole battle, it was freaking amazing to see, like, the choreography and stuff. It was freaking amazing to see. Okay, Killmonger versus T'Challa. It was absolutely amazing. And then, the way that, Killmonger beat him at the end and killed, I can't remember his name, but, the guy that T'Chaka sent to observe his, brother back then, you know who I'm talking about. After he killed him, and then everybody thought that T'Challa was dead as well because he stabbed him and threw him over the river, and it was crazy. Like, this doesn't happen too much in movies. At that point in time, the villain had won. everybody in Wakanda thought T'Challa was dead, and Killmonger was king. He was going to be king of Wakanda. Everybody had to do what he wanted, and that like this, it was like this movie showed how, you know, certain tribes, certain regions, I guess, certain places are just this loyal to whoever is king or queen or whatever, this status, you know, not necessarily the person, but this status, you know, because he was the king, they had to do what he asked because he was the king. So when he told them to burn the herbs so that there wouldn't be no future Black Panther, they all burned the herbs. And like for a good period of time, T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman was not on camera for like a good length of time because that length of time it was just Killmonger doing his things, and then the group, Ross and T'Challa's mom and Shuri and, you know, T'Challa's lover, they were all trying to overthrow Killmonger, but then they found T'Challa, and that was after like a good bit of time that they did find him. So it was cool how, like, first of all, you have this movie with a new MCU character that we've only seen in one prior movie, and then this two other actors that we've only seen in one other MCU movie, and then no other main MCU actors. You already have a film with that. Then take away the main lead actor of this film for a short period of time and just these completely new actors, and you still enjoy it just the freaking same. It just shows how amazing, like how interested you were in these the casted people who were playing their roles. At least for me. At least for me. That's one thing that I found interesting, and like it was just amazing, the whole thing, you know. For that short period of time, Killmonger won. He won. The villain won. He was king. Everybody thought T'Challa was dead. Now, imagine this. Imagine if we hadn't seen the Infinity War trailer before Black Panther, and we had no confirmation that Black Panther was going to be in Infinity War. For that, even though, of course, it's his own solo film, so of course we knew he would have came back anyway, but this is cool to think for a short period of time, you know, the villain won. It was thought that T'Challa was dead. This was a great culture film too, okay? It really was. Like, people were saying things like, why do people have to dress up in all this? It's just a movie. Why do people gotta do this? Why are people doing this and this and it like, guys, okay, look. For one, yes, I feel this is a culture film. And people were dressing up and stuff like this to go to see this movie, you know, to like show their love and support for this different type of film that we haven't had before in the MCU. A primarily black cast, a black lead actor. Yes, we've had Blade, we've had those different movies, but no, we're talking a movie set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, such a widely loved franchise, such a widely popular franchise, and a movie that actually did really freaking well in the box office. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about a black a movie with a black lead actor. That's what we're talking about. Not the first one, just the one that we know will be loved, is set in this expansive popular universe. That's what we're talking about. It is amazing. It was amazing seeing nobody in my theater actually really, but just on social media and stuff, I see people dressing up in their you know, I'm not gonna act like I know the names of these specific attires, but they're these tradition, different African attires. You know, it was so cool, so amazing to see that their energy, their passion, their excitement for this film and how different and cultural this film was going to be. And it really was. All the costumes, the outfits, the designs for everything was just so articulate and so freaking amazing and eccentric. It was just so, like, it really made this film stand out from all the other MCU films. The attire and stuff in this film, the different music that was playing. I'm not going to act like I understood what was going with the lyrics of any of the music either. I'm not going to act like I understand that just because I'm African. You know, I was born in America, so I don't really know the lyrics. But you know, on the behalf of, and I don't even have to speak on their behalf. They can speak for themselves. But I'm just saying, you know, like, I know that different African people who probably did understand the lyrics to some of these songs, understood the meanings, understood what some of this attire and stuff is. I know they could really appreciate that. They could really appreciate that this is being brought on film in such a large, you know, such a large scale, large spotlight. You know, I know that they could really enjoy and really appreciate that. Finally, let's talk about T'Challa, aka the Black Panther. I don't care. I never freeze. The Black Panther is a mantle that has been passed down from generations. It's my Black Panther impression. It's not the best. But, yeah. So, what was that one? Oh, yeah. There was this one specific scene. Well, the scenes that really had me the most were Black Panther's fight scenes. Okay? Seeing the new outfit in act. One of my favorite, probably my favorite scene of the movie was when that ship crashed and T'Challa came out of it in the Black Panther uniform. It was like, the challenge isn't over yet. The challenge isn't over yet. I'm not dead. I'm not dead. You gotta kill me first. I'm not dead, Killmonger. Let's go. Let's go. Step into the spotlight. But yeah, so that scene was one of my favorite scenes. Just Black Panther in action, going at it, going at these Wakandians that were against him, going at these rhinos, throwing around these rhinos, stopping this rhino, jumping around in the suit, along with the car chase scene in like the first or second act of the movie. That was also one of my favorite scenes. But my favorite scene was like the end of the movie when T'Challa was in the field fighting all the Wakandians, the rhinos, fighting Killmonger. I loved that stuff. I loved that stuff. Absolutely amazing. I loved the action, the choreo. Like, Black Panther fighting were some of my favorite scenes. Were some of my freaking favorite scenes. I absolutely loved T'Challa going at it in the suit. And, you know, like, you saw his quickness. Like, that's, okay, I'm not trying to defend this CGI. That wasn't bad CGI in my opinion. He has enhanced speed. Come on. He has enhanced speed. He's quick. And I noticed it particularly in one scene when he wasn't in the suit. It was when they were at that club where Claw was going to meet Ross. And T'Challa did this jump. He jumped from the ground up to like this, like the second level of the building. Not even suited up in the Black Panther suit. It just shows the effects that the herb gives a person, you know, like the enhanced strength and speed and stamina. I think I've talked about pretty much all the main things in the film. Like, I'm like fresh out of the theater. I was ready to go for this review. There was so much stuff I wanted to talk about. I think I've talked about all the main important things. I've talked about almost every main major character. I've talked about most of the important scenes, the Wakandian tech, the I've talked about most of the stuff. So, yeah, I've talked about most of the stuff. So now let's get into the post credits. So the first one was pretty much T'Challa, you know, telling the world, I'm T'Chaka's son. I'm the son of the guy who died in the explosion, you know, from Zemo. And now I'm ready to tell you guys about the region of Wakanda, this place that you had no clue that existed. He's now ready to tell them that it exists, but he's doing it in like a way. Well, I guess there is no way to do it without some type of threat or danger. So that could be the premise of a Black Panther sequel. That could be the plot and premises. Now, you know, Wakanda is known to the world, and so he's done this because he wants, like people were saying, like his ex, I believe, and Killmonger, like, we can help these other places if we share our resources and our knowledge with them. But you always have these people that will have bad agendas, and they could have bad agendas for this vibranium. We saw everything Claw did, and that's just one guy. So think about other people who might have bad agendas with this vibranium, the strongest metal on Earth. So that was the first post-credit scene. And also, now that's, you know, kind of, I guess, how Thanos would know about Wakanda as well. And I just thought of something. I just thought of something. What if Thanos attacks Wakanda the same reason he had Loki attack the Avengers in the first Avengers movie? I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to point my finger at you guys. I'm just really hot because I just thought about this just now. Okay. What if Thanos has his Outriders and Black Dwarf attack Wakanda because Wakanda could be a threat, a huge threat to Thanos? The Avengers are a threat to Thanos. That's why he needs the Avengers taken out. That's why he sent Loki to do it in the first Avengers movie, but he failed. And at that end credit scene, the dude was like, this is the Avengers are, these Earthlings, they're a threat. Wakanda has vibranium, the strongest metal on Earth. They're advanced in technology and knowledge. Okay? And resources. And armies. Thanos is going to need Wakanda to not be in his way just as much as he's going to need the Avengers to not be in his way. So, if the Soul Stone isn't in Wakanda, that has to be the only other reason Thanos is attacking Wakanda. Because it's a huge nation, third world country, lots of resources, lots of knowledge, lots of advanced tech, armies. Okay? So that could be the alternative reason why Thanos is attacking Wakanda, if the Soul Stone isn't there. And I guess I should now go ahead and get on to my theory of how the Soul Stone could still be a Wakanda. We didn't see it in the movie, and even the director said that Wakanda has enough going for it as it is with the vibranium. But I have a theory of how the Soul Stone could still be in Wakanda. This is my theory. I thought of this. I thought of this as I was exiting the theater. So, okay, the meteor came crashing down into Wakanda. It in the vibranium got into the ground and stuff. So here's a theory. Okay. When the Big Bang happened, as addressed in Guardians of the Galaxy, these Infinity Stones were spread all throughout the universe. What if the Soul Stone somehow was on or either inside the meteor with the vibranium, and so when the vibranium meteor hit and all the vibranium was spread throughout the ground of Wakanda, what if the Soul Stone was in that meteor? And then the Soul Stone is somewhere in the grounds, maybe, of Wakanda, and it hasn't been found yet. This proves some thought on how my theory could be true. Okay? We already heard Black Panther and Civil War say, where I'm from, there's life after death. The astral plane, which is when you take the herb of the Wakandian, plant. The herb. Well, that gives you life after death, and you can see the souls kind of the previous Black Panthers. You could see them, the souls of the previous Black Panthers. The souls, Soul Stone. What if the Soul Stone is what made the because, okay, look, the vibranium is the strongest metal on Earth. But what if the Soul Stone is what made it to where when you consume it, you can see the souls of previous, because Killmonger's dad wasn't a Black Panther, but he could still go into the astral plane and see basically the soul of his dad. He wasn't a Black Panther. So what if the Soul Stone made it, affected the vibranium so that when you consume it, you could see the souls of, past figures, I guess, What if that's what the Soul Stone did? Now, again, the Soul Stone, it might just be revealed to us somewhere in Infinity War, or either maybe even Avengers 4, but that's just a theory I have. And what I said about when you consume the vibranium, you can see basically souls of people, that puts some proof into how my theory could be true. But again, it's just a theory. It could be wrong. So I don't really know. But let's get on to the next post-credit scene. Oh, man. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. When this, you should have seen me and my brother when this post-credit scene happened. So, I was thinking it was just going to be, kind of like a funny post-credit scene, I guess. You saw the kids. And Shuri's like, stop mess with him or something like that. And he comes out. It took me a second. I was like, okay, he's just a random white, no offense, it's just a random white guy in Wakanda. I was squinting, I had my glasses on. I was squinting though still. I was like, because the hair was kind of long too. I was like, who exactly? And it was free. When I saw that it was Bucky, I flipped my lid. I went balls off the wall, nuts. This was my exact reaction, okay? Imagine I'm sitting here watching the screen. Who exactly is... Oh! I didn't exactly scream like that, but I was like this. I was like, no way. Oh my God. Oh, I was like that. Me and my brother, we both gasped. We were like, the freaking Winter Soldier is Bucky. Oh my, people were looking at us like we were crazy. People looked back at us like we were freaking nuts. Crazy. But when she said Sergeant Barnes yeah, Sergeant Barnes and stuff. He was like, my name's Bucky and all of that. Getting to see him in Wakanda, man, 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 oh man. That got me hyped. That had got me hyped. I was wanting a tease for Infinity War, to be completely honest. I really was. But that satisfied me. That satisfied me. Seeing Bucky and the fact that he was like, call me Bucky. That satisfied me. That satisfied me a lot. I forgot to mention things like the humor and the CGI and stuff. Basically, I guess just any of my flaws with the film. The film had a perfect balance of humor. The humor was like the humor of Captain America Winter Soldier. That's what the humor was when you watch this movie. That's what the humor was on me. It was on par with the humor of the Winter Soldier. It was perfectly balanced. Perfectly, I had no issues with the humor whatsoever. Well, okay, the humor was balanced. It's just there was some things that were supposed to be humorous that made me kind of eh. One in particular, I completely forgot about it. I remembered, like, I thought of it as soon as I heard it in the movie, but I forgot about it until my friend told me about it as we were sitting during the post-credit scenes. He had said, one thing that made me cringe, though, was when Shuri had said, "What are those?" Like, I get, you could legit say that, about what T'Challa's wearing. Like, those shoes he was wearing did look odd, but the joke is just so old, and it just came off as cringe for me. I was just like, like, it really just, yeah, nah, nah. And what else? So that was the only thing with humor that I had a problem with. So, like, the humor was balanced. It was just that one joke that I cringed at. And the same goes for CGI. I had no problem with the CGI. Again, the herb gives the Panther enhanced strength, so his movements, I was okay with his movements because they're going to be quick. He has enhanced strength, okay? I was okay with all the CGI. The city of Wakanda is completely not real. It's completely CGI. At least aerial views and stuff. So, for how that looked, I was okay with that. All the CGI looked good except for just one particular scene. It was, you guys have to know what I'm talking about. Come on, you just, try to remember it with me. Those, things, it was the final battle with T'Challa and Killmonger. When they were on the train thing, and T'Challa jumped on that thing and then attacked Killmonger, I had a problem. It was just that one moment, too, when he jumped at Killmonger and attacked him. He jumped off the pole thing and attacked Killmonger. That was literally the only time I had an issue with CGI. Other than that, I thought the CGI was absolutely amazing. And, speaking of that final battle scene, I forgot to mention this. This was one of my favorite parts of the movie alone. When Killmonger's about to kill Shuri and T'Challa attacked them, and they had like that at least 20-second battle just going at it. Like I loved the crap out of that. I loved that scene so freaking much. I loved that scene. Like, they were just falling, going at it. It looked clean. It looked crisp. It looked amazing. I loved that. So, humor was balanced for me. It was just one joke that made me cringe. CGI was perfect for me. It was just literally one scene that lasted, like, maybe 3 or 4 seconds. So these would be my criticisms. And it's not really criticisms, it's just nitpicks. Okay? Uh, that one joke, the what are those joke, okay? The about 4 seconds of what I thought the CGI was very noticeable when T'Challa attacked Killmonger, and Killmonger's death. I would say Claw's death as well because I really didn't want him to die. But you know how people say Marvel has a problem with killing off villains, so that I'm going to talk about the main villain. Him dying. I'm okay. Again, I'm okay with how he died. I just didn't want him to die, and I mean I don't think there could have been any other purpose for him within the MCU. Maybe because he had everything. Well, he didn't have fulfilled, you know, becoming king of the throne and all of his agendas that he had for the world and about the world knowing about Wakanda, and his agendas. But personal, you know, like getting to see Wakanda and stuff, he had that stuff fulfilled. So I don't know if there would really be any other purpose for him in the future movie. But yeah, like I didn't want him to die, but I am okay with how he died. So I guess I won't take any off for that. I guess I won't take any off for the CGI either because it was literally just one scene that was like 4 seconds. I can give, you know, just give that a pass. It isn't that bad that I need to take a whole point off when I thought the rest was good. And then it was just like 4. I'm not gonna take a. Nah, I won't take a point off for that. And then when there's just one joke that made me cringe when I thought the rest of the humor was balanced, I don't think I'm going to take a point off for that either. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I'll make all these 3 things a point. One whole point. Okay, so 0.3 out of 1 point. No. Okay, 0.3 out of a point for Killmonger dying just because people say that like Marvel's movies have the villain dies a lot. Well, no, you know what? I'm not taking any points off for Killmonger's death. You know why? Because I was okay with how Killmonger died and he didn't have a cheap death. Yup. I'm okay with how he died, and he didn't have a cheap death. He did not have a cheap death. I was perfectly okay with how he died. So, just because of that, no points taken off for the villain's death. So, you know what? I'm not even going to take off, here we go. Instead of what would have been a 9 out of 10, I'll do a 9.8 out of 10. Why? 1% is for about the 4 seconds of CGI that I thought could have been done better. Makes it a 9.9 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. Then, the what are those joke that made me cringe, that's another percentage taken off. So 9.8 out of 10. 9. Marvel's Black Panther gets a mad score of 9.8 out of 10. I think that's the highest I've ever rated any film out of all the movies I've ever done reviews for. And that's saying something because I don't think I've ever given a movie a 10 out of 10 yet on a review. But this was one of those movies I didn't find nothing wrong with it. I really didn't. Besides, you know, the 2 things I said, and those are just nitpicks. Those are just nitpicks and things that lasted not even 10 seconds. So, it's like, you can live to forget. You know, forgive and forget. So I really didn't find anything wrong with the film. I didn't. So, 9.8 out of 10. Marvel's Black Panther gets a mad score of a 9.8 out of 10. Sorry I repeated that probably for like the 3rd time now, but it's just I've never given a movie that high of a score. I always find usually some little nitpick or some small criticism, but I really didn't find anything wrong with this film. I really didn't. I thought everything was great. The humor, I thought it was balanced. I thought the CGI looked amazing. All the actors did an amazing job in their roles. So I thought everything was good. And I think I've pretty much talked about everything at this point. I've talked about like pretty much every single main and supporting character. I've talked about the setting of the world, Wakanda, the vibranium, the different fight scenes, post-credit scenes. So I've talked about mostly everything. So I think I'm pretty much done with this review. If you did enjoy my review for Marvel's Black Panther, let me know what you thought. And let me know what you thought of Black Panther as well. You guys know I read and respond to my comments, so I want to know your thoughts on Marvel's Black Panther. Okay? Links to all my social media will be down below in the description box. Smash that like button. Share this video to anyone you feel enjoy. If you are new around here and you like what you see, tap the subscribe button and ding dong the notification bell to join the Mad Squad on our journey to 10,000 subscribers. My name's Joe, aka Mad Joe FC. I hope you all have a marvelous day. Mad out. Wakanda forever!